Pop quiz. Do you know what's stopping you from becoming a millionaire? 1. Procrastination. 2. No connections. 3. Lack of knowledge. Or 4. Energy. If you answered 4. Energy, you're about to watch the most important video you've ever seen. Because indeed, if your energy's on point, rich people will gravitate towards you. The right knowledge will fall into your lap. Ideas for inventions and business ideas will flood your mind. Your energy is your key to the kingdom, your passcode to the palace. When I figured out how to change my energy, my entire life turned on its head. No longer was my relationship with my wife like pulling teeth. No longer was raising my kids a chore. Everything just came naturally to me. The universe, God, or whatever you want to call it, actually healed my waning eyesight. I never thought these kind of miracles could happen to me. Mother Teresa, maybe. She deserves miracles, but not me. And you probably think you're not worthy of any miracles either. And that, my friend, is the first thing we're going to fix. You are worthy, and every problem you have is solvable. And it's solvable effortlessly if you have the key. See, it could be the most menacing steel door. It'll never let you through. But if you have one tiny key that actually fits the keyhole, you can open it without a problem. That's the kind of key I'm going to give you in this video. The key to unlock your dreams. Family, relationships, money, finances, health, vitality, energy, weight loss. It's all going to be revealed right there. And this is not a joke. This is not hype. This is not like any other product you've seen before. This is my story. A true story that you could only believe if you experienced it yourself. But I'll do my best. Because this is one video that can get you out of that rut you find yourself in. You'll realize it's not actually a rut, but an opportunity. You've got some kind of luck if you found this video, because I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm going to show you something even more powerful than chakras, even more powerful than yoga and meditation. I'm going to share with you what actually works in minutes. And you won't believe the modality I use, because it's something you already do at least once a week. And you probably find it the most enjoyable activity you've ever done. And we're going to turn that activity into a key to success in any aspect of life. I almost lost my life to find this. I had a strange occurrence, a voice from above, which told me exactly what I needed to do. That voice completely turned my life from darkness to light. And now my life is different. I make money when I want to, not because I have to. I made this website of the joy to help people, not because I needed to make a buck. I make money because money's attracted to me. I'm an attractive person. And being an attractive person has nothing to do with your height or your jawline. It has to do with the kind of outcomes you pull in. And the outcomes will be completely consistent with the energy you put out in the universe. Some watch this video and cry. Some watch it and jump up and down. But everyone is impressed that figuring out life, as I have done, could be so simple and easy. Would you be skeptical if I told you that the information I'm about to reveal for free is likely responsible for the creation of 1,147 millionaires and 25 billionaires? Would you be skeptical if I told you anyone could do it, from lawyers to welders to accountants to waitresses, to possibly double, triple, and even 10x their income, feel completely content with their life, and watch their perfect partner effortlessly walk into their life, or watch as the relationship they're currently in effortlessly blossoms into an insane and irrational love affair? Of course you would be. And why shouldn't you be? You can't believe everything you see on the internet, right? So let me prove it to you. Because not only does this secret exist, this breakthrough may actually work even better than I'm making it sound. Because if you stick around, it may just transform your average brain into a millionaire's brain in seconds and transmute your energy into a millionaire's energy. The energy the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds have always had without revealing what they know. Because millionaires and billionaires likely don't operate the way you do now. There's something different about them. They attract money wherever they go with little effort. So whether Elon Musk is working for Zip2 selling a mapping service or launching rockets into orbit with SpaceX, he's making billions either way. There isn't a goddamn thing he touches that doesn't turn into gold. See, It doesn't matter what a billionaire does. It doesn't matter what business they're in because they have that billionaire energy. And billionaire energy will always attract billions. They can't even stop the money from coming to them if they tried. You could be an accountant making 50 grand a year, but if you somehow pick up that millionaire energy, you'll potentially be a millionaire within a matter of a few months. You won't even understand how it all happened. You may even chalk it up to luck or being at the right place at the right time. It'll be unexpected. And yet, to me and my students, it's totally predictable. Very few people understand this concept. They think success is something that just happens to people overnight. Well, they couldn't be more wrong. Success is likely a reaction from the universe to your energy. If you're the type of person who spends most of his energy thinking about what could go wrong, the universe will give you plenty to work with. Things will be going wrong every hour of the day. But if you're the type of person who always sees the positive in everything, the universe will give you plenty to work with as well. Here's just a taste of what may have happened when I changed my energy into millionaire energy. I likely got everything I've ever wanted, including traveling the world. Here's me in Great Barrier Reef, Australia. Here's my wife Willow hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu, Peru. And here's me surfing in Bali, Indonesia. Once you change your energy, which is as easy as turning on a light switch, you will see positive things happening everywhere you turn. You'll have the life that you want, whether it be making millions or pulling the sexiest, most attractive and affectionate partner you've ever met. You must understand this energy secret and the way to transmute your energy using this method I discovered. I had to lose my vision and everything I cared about to figure this out, but you can have it on a silver platter. You likely don't have to sacrifice a thing because doing this now is absolute child's play. All you need to do is watch this video until the end with absolutely no distractions. That means your door is shut, preferably locked. All other tabs are closed down. Even the tab for your email. Your phone is shut off. Your dog is put out in the yard. And you listen to every word coming out of my mouth as if your life depended on it. Because in ways you don't yet realize, it does. What makes this so fascinating is I'm not just going to show you how to potentially become a millionaire. I'm going to show you how to potentially become a millionaire with nothing but watching a few movie previews. No extended courses or expensive seminars required. This is something that you may run on autopilot while you do your regular job until it matures and blossoms. And that's when you can possibly quit that job if you choose to do so and never work a real job ever again, just like a millionaire. Millionaires mostly don't do jobs. They work for the enjoyment of it. At that level, work becomes a choice because you can potentially fulfill all of your heart's desires for a few $100 grand. They know that, but they work anyway because they love it. Millionaires make money from the money they've already made, so they get richer every day without really doing anything. People from all over the world are already using this method I discovered to become one of them, to transform their lives until their lives are almost totally unrecognizable. Our students are reporting that after using this method, they feel like they're literally walking on air. They say, "Good things keep happening, and I cannot even stop it," from Wanda in Cape Town, South Africa. "All the stress in my life has turned into joy," from Kathy to Ushuaia, Argentina. "I have to pinch myself every day because I still can't believe how good my life has gotten," from David R. Luang Prabang in Laos. What the method has started is nothing short of revolution in the life hacking space. I'm being asked by all the biggest gurus to speak at their events about this secret. But for now, it's only available on this very website. It's the biggest breakthrough in the world of personal development, maybe in history. And there you sit, on the precipice of a total transformation. You came to this website, not really knowing why, but I'll tell you why. The universe has likely forced you onto this website because it's been trying to talk to you and you haven't listened, and this is its last resort. You would have found this website no matter where you went, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. This website would always find you because it has to, because it's the key to getting you out of that rut you've found yourself in, because your family deserves better. They want you to be happy and successful. They want to feel better when you walk into a room. You may not realize it yet, but this is where your destiny and my destiny collide and ultimately merge into one. We were meant to meet today. I don't know what kind of pain you're going through, but I know you're in pain or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here if you weren't looking to level up your life in some way. You're searching for that path to transcend all that suffering you're going through. And you found it. And when you're done with that, you want to reach a point where you feel so good. You're on a high all day long. Cloud 9. That's what I want for you. That's what I have for you. And that's what I believe I can give you. And just like a pupa becoming a butterfly, I found this secret after a lot of pain and struggle. The details of this story may have changed to protect privacy. I almost lost what I now believe is our greatest gift, my eyesight. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was watching The Dragon Prince with my son, and I noticed this little blurry spot on the upper left of my right eye. What is that? I thought. I'm probably just tired. I'm sure it'll be gone in the morning. We finished watching this show, and I said, I'm turning in early. But when I woke up, it wasn't gone. That blurry spot seemed to have grown even larger. I told my wife Willow how concerned I was. She said, you should see Dr. Atkinson. So I did. The ophthalmologist took one look at me with one of his machines, and he said, Sir, this is pretty rare at your age, but you have early onset glaucoma, and it's getting worse rapidly. My heart dropped to my feet. With a tear in my eye, I asked, what happens if it covers my entire eye? He said, unfortunately, you may lose your vision. He scheduled me for some additional tests. The disease I had is actually called angle closure glaucoma, which can spread very quickly, which apparently is what was happening to me. Doctor, I said, tell me straight, am I going blind? He paused and took a deep breath and said, I'm afraid so. But I'm only 46 years old, I thought. I have my whole life ahead of me. I'd be stuck in my home for the rest of my life. I'd need a seeing eye dog just to go to the grocery store. I came home, and my wife knew something was very wrong. So she gave me this big hug and said, we'll get through this. But I knew I might not. Since science didn't have the answer, I tried Eastern medicine. I tried acupuncture, tuina massage, cupping therapy, qigong. Nothing worked. All of these treatments just put a $600 hole in my wallet. Friends started to call me, asking why I hadn't left the house in weeks. I'd say I didn't want to talk about it. It was really happening. It was a nightmare I could not wake up from. The blurriness was starting to cover my entire eye, and I gave up. I took one last look at my daughter and my son. They were the most beautiful children I had ever seen, and I knew I may never see them again. I started to get dark thoughts that I didn't want to live as a blind man. So I started researching death pills, something that I could take to make all this pain go away. At least Willow would be able to remarry and have a normal life instead of living with a cripple. And a friend helped me get a hold of the pill. And I was in the bedroom, laying on my back with a glass of water, my life hanging in the balance. Willow was at work. She wouldn't be home for hours. It was the perfect time to do it. I wrote a note telling her how much I loved her, how sorry I was that it had to end this way, how much I'll miss the kids, how much I'll be looking after everyone from heaven and in any way I can. I didn't even believe in heaven at the time, but it seemed like it might be a comforting thought. Just as I picked up that pill and said my final prayers, I heard a voice in my head, came through clear as a bell. Maybe it was the voice of intuition Daniel Kahneman talked about. Maybe it was God himself, or maybe an angel, the Holy Spirit. Who knows? All I knew was that it was a comforting voice, like the voice of a loving father. It said, my son, put the pill down. When your energy changes, your life will change. That's all you need to know. What that voice said shook me up. I put the pill down, as instructed, and I felt an incredible relief wash over me. It seemed like there was a solution, not from science, but from on high, a way to heal myself by changing my energy, which I already knew was created by my mental patterns. I was the kind of guy who always saw the glass as being half empty. I looked for what could go wrong, not what could go right. I realized that if I had just changed my thoughts, and therefore my energy, maybe, just maybe, the eyesight would come back. Just to be sure I wasn't going down a dead end, I started to research experiments on the effect of energy healing disease. I researched everyone from the old school like Dr. Phineas Quimby to Jim Carrey to Oprah Winfrey. I found Quimby fascinating. He was born in the small town of Lebanon, New Hampshire in 1802. He was one of 7 children and the son of a blacksmith. As was customary for his social and economic class at the time, Quimby received little formal education, and he later wrote that he had suffered from consumption, now called tuberculosis, in his youth, a disease that then had no cure, which had started to rot his teeth. Quimby began experimenting with his own ideas for a cure. He found that intense excitement, such as galloping on his horse, alleviated his pain for brief periods of time. And he became interested in the mind's ability to affect the body. He claimed to have cured himself of consumption with this power of his mind. He called the right mental patterns the truth, and as he said, truth is the cure. To me, that was pretty clear. Our health is just a manifestation of what's going on between our ears. The brain is the command center. It's the CEO of the company, the CIA of the country. Everything follows the brain, including our energy. What's happening in our brain transmutes into our energy, and the energy decides our outcome, because like attracts like. Positive energy attracts positive outcomes. It's really that simple. Why would the universe give you back anything other than what you send to it? The hard part is how to rewire your brain so that it gives off the right energy. The energy of massive success. I also found the writings of Mary Eddy fascinating, who had experienced periods of sudden illness throughout her life. She would suddenly fall to the floor, writhing and screaming, or silent and apparently unconscious, sometimes for hours, and no doctor could help. She believed the cause was most likely psychogenic in nature. According to psychoanalyst Julia Silberger, Eddy may have been motivated to have these fits in an effort to control her father's attitude towards her. Fraser attributed the illness likely to a combination of hypochondria and histrionics as well. Then Eddy decided to master her mind, and her illness just lifted. Her magnum opus is called Science and Health, 1875, where she wrote, "Health is not a condition of matter, but of mind. And spirit is the real and eternal. Matter is the unreal and temporal. And give up the belief that mind is even temporarily compressed within the skull, and you will quickly become more manly or womanly. You will understand yourself and your maker better than before." Fascinating stuff. So old, but so applicable to my circumstance. I quickly realized that there are modern voices that are successors to Quimby and Eddy. People like Jim Carrey, who said, "I believe in manifestation. I believe in putting a rocket of desire out into the universe, and you get it when you believe it." Apparently, his beliefs are serving him well because he was one of the first actors to earn $20 million for a single film, and The Cable Guy. Oprah said, "You don't become what you want, you become what you believe. You get in life what you have the courage to ask for." From 1875 to 2024, I was seeing the same theme. The mind, I realized, was the key to healing my condition and my life. But what should I actually do? I didn't have much time. At this point, I was barely able to read, so I needed something that works fast. I wondered if there was a switch I could flip that would change all of this on a dime. Something that would change my patterns instantly without working on my thoughts for years. I'm a video editor by trade, and one of my projects was to make movie previews for kids. We were tasked to make them really addictive, so I knew what kind of movie previews would keep them watching for hours. I said to myself, how crazy would it be if we had a movie preview that I could play for just 5 minutes that would change my brain and my energy completely? Nah, it's too good to be true. But I told my wife about the idea. She said, "If anyone can make this work, it's you, honey. If you don't try, you'll always wonder what might have happened." Boy, do I love this woman. I said I'll give it a try. I spent 3 weeks creating just one movie preview. I asked for help from my mentor several times, which is one of the greatest programmers in the country. I asked for help from healers of every kind and from psychologists who had a reputation for getting results. In total, I put about $59,000 into this one movie preview, which was almost all of my life savings. I did it all with whatever vision I had left. And when it was ready, I could feel the excitement running up my leg, all throughout my body. But would it work? I turned on my TV and I started to play it. At first, nothing happened. It was fun, but I couldn't detect any change in my mentality. I said, what did I expect? It's just a movie preview. But as I became more engrossed in the preview video, I started to feel a change. My whole body felt like it was filling up with energy, like a car getting filled up with gas. I realized I had never felt so good in my life. Everything became so clear. My life, my marriage, my parenting, my money. Suddenly I knew exactly what to do. And I felt like doing it, like a bat out of hell. It was during this time that my son happened to not be talking to me. But when I walked in the door that day, he took one look at me and he gave me a big, big hug and said, I love you. Wow. My dreams were already manifesting. I had this sense of calm and positivity, and I knew everyone around me could feel it. My daughter said, Daddy, you seem different. I like it. Everywhere I looked, I just saw blessings and felt gratitude. I had never been so comfortable in my own skin. It felt like home. That's the only way I can describe it. In a weird way, I was even grateful for that glaucoma, but my vision had not improved. That was the only thing getting me down. And my wife came to the rescue again. She said, if your whole body feels different, it eventually must go to your eyes, just give it some time. So I did. After 3 days, I noticed the blurriness starting to recede. Dr. Atkinson said he'd never seen anything like it. At its worst, the blurriness covered about 80% of my right eye and about 90% of my left eye. But after watching that movie preview for 3 days, it was down to 70 and 75. I watched for a few more days, and it went down to 30% and 38%. I was almost back to full vision. The more I watched these movie previews, the more my vision came back. Tears welled up in my eyes, and to think I almost offed myself. This random voice saved me and may have given me the greatest success breakthrough in 50 years. I felt like $1 million. And suddenly I knew exactly how to get $1 million. And it was also thanks to this idea to encourage the change in our mental patterns through movie previews. Such previews can make learning more interactive and engaging, leading to improved knowledge retention. Movie previews touch us in ways that nothing else can. That's why they are the engine of Hollywood. That's why they put millions of dollars into them. But as an editor, I was able to do it for far less, but make them just as exciting, if not more. I knew if I could get other people involved, it would be even more powerful. There's power in numbers. So I started to invite my friends and my neighbors to watch the movie previews. Steve would say, it's weird. When I watch this, I just feel different. I suddenly just feel lighter, like I see the world in a more positive light. My anxiety is gone. This was nothing compared to what was about to happen to him. He spent that weekend in Atlantic City. He came home with $4,500 in pure profit. He said he couldn't miss. Not on blackjack, not on the slots, even the horse races. Then there's Maddie. She watches 2 movie previews and the next day suddenly gets news of an inheritance from a cousin she barely knew. $80,000. Ace was next. The very same day he watched 3 movie previews, he went to a pawn shop looking for an antique lamp. The guy behind the counter said, I'm in a good mood. You can have it for free. He then flipped that thing on eBay for $800. Barry, 2 days after watching, got a tax refund, $10,000. Lisa got a bonus at work after watching. She didn't even have to ask. Her boss just recommended her. Ryan is a college student at this time, and a few days after watching the movie preview, Biden cancels all his student debt. Since I had investors now fighting over themselves to get in, we were able to make several more miracle movie previews, and they got even bigger results. Brains were being transformed, and as a result, lives were being transformed. Everyone who watched them was getting everything they ever wanted. Even the allergies people had had for years went away with no effort. Euphoria was rampant throughout my entire social circle. Some were jumping, others were hugging each other, others were high-fiving each other, some were dancing, others were shouting and screaming, crying tears of joy. John, who had suffered from debilitating migraines for years, reported that his headaches were gone. Maria, a retired teacher who found herself dancing again as her chronic arthritis pain vanished. Even children who had been plagued by asthma started being able to breathe freely without their inhalers. The news of this discovery spread like wildfire. Some people from neighboring towns and eventually from across the globe wanted to watch these movie previews. In Brazil, a young man struggling with depression felt his spirits lift as if a heavy cloud had been removed from his mind. A mother in Kenya discovered that she had a previously unknown talent for painting, and her artwork quickly gained recognition and transformed her life. A teacher in Canada noticed that her students who had learning difficulties began to grasp complex concepts with ease. Their grades improved dramatically. As the positive outcomes just continued to pour in, the world began to take notice. Scientists and researchers flocked to me, eager to understand the mechanisms behind these miracle movie previews. People began to believe in miracles again, inspired by the tangible transformations that they witnessed daily. The world seemed to be on the cusp of a new era, one where health, happiness, and prosperity were within everyone's reach. We packaged up these movies with great care, made them ever more interesting to watch, and you just hit that play button and you're in the zone. And we realized we had made the most powerful product the world has ever seen. We called it the only thing I could call it, the Urgent Millionaire Switch. It includes 7 of these energetic miracle movie previews. All you have to do is hit play, and it will transmute your energy into a more positive frequency. And that's when things start getting fun. You will see results in the way you feel, in the events that occur in your life immediately. It's the little things at first. Your websites will load faster. The right workers will just contact you out of the blue. You'll get emails that lead you directly to the outcomes you seek. You'll make less typos. You'll lose weight more easily. Your back will feel better. You'll sleep better. You won't have that nagging feeling that you're not living up to your potential. You'll feel at one with nature and at one with your own world. If you're spiritual, this energy will add more firepower to your prayers and meditations. And if you're not spiritual, view this like a science, because one day this will become published, because the success stories are mounting and we're keeping track of all of it. You'll learn so much about yourself by watching these movie previews. People around you will notice the difference immediately, and suddenly they will be overcome with the desire to help you reach your goals. Not that you'll need them, because you'll be on fire. You will accomplish in 1 hour what most accomplish in about 8. You will be unstoppable. Between your newfound power to work hard and the positive energy you're putting out into the universe, you may become a millionaire faster than you think. After all, your brain will operate a lot like Elon Musk's brain. Your brain will operate a lot like Bill Gates' brain. People who succeed at whatever they do, that'll be you. The effort you'll need to put in is minuscule. You just put out your cup, watch the water flow into it. And you'll do it while watching these super fun, interactive movie previews, just like the one for Top Gun. Your kids can watch too, and see them start doing better at school, making new friends. This works for everyone from age like 8 to 88 and beyond. It will remove roadblocks in your mind. Because over time, your mind has picked up a few viruses, also known as addictions and trauma. These movie previews will root that crap out, and you will suddenly not be so tempted. Trauma will no longer cause you any fear. That hole in your heart will be replaced by love and compassion. You're in for a total brain reboot. You may have seen our Brain Miracle featured in several major medical news sites. Today, I have several neuroscientists who swear by my movie preview method. I began to realize that this is it. This is what the world has been missing. This is the real road to true wealth. It turns out, true wealth is only built on a certain kind of brain. I created the system to shape that kind of brain. And I've now perfected that system so well that, like clockwork, I can get someone started with that system and see their income rise, potentially at least 20, 30, even 50% in their first month of using it, in my experience. In short, I can now confidently say that I can hardwire your brain for wealth, giving you the brain of a millionaire. All the right neural pathways so that you think like a millionaire, act like a millionaire, and attract like a millionaire. That's why I call this system the Urgent Millionaire Switch, the surest and fastest way to live out your financial dreams. How do I know? Because I did it for myself. Have a look. This is what my bank account looked like after just using this system for 6 months. When you're rich, you have way more than one bank. So here's some receipts from the other banks. And I'm not the only one. Check this out. It's Jason, and I just wanted to get in touch to tell you that the Urgent Millionaire Switch has been the most rewarding experience of my life. I felt like I was tied up my whole life, and suddenly, I'm free. Suddenly, where I saw misery, I see opportunities. I have the motivation, the drive. My wife can't believe I'm finally taking action on the business I've always wanted to start. And get this, I just made $6,486 in the past week. I have a clear chart to $1 million, and I'm not stopping until I hit it. Ethan, you just plain rock. Ethan, thank you, thank you, thank you. I don't know how to thank you. I've been promoted 2 times in the past 6 months, and this is unheard of in my company. My income has gone from $45,000 to $65,000, and if I keep this up, I'm heading towards the corner office. I don't really understand how it works. All I can say is life just got so much easier when I started doing it. Like there was no obstacles. I truly feel like I have a millionaire's brain. Ethan, my buddy, you know me from high school. You'll remember I went into finance and then day trading. You were always a smart kid in the class when I saw you, so I saw you had a course and I had to try it. Get this, I was seeking out a living before the Urgent Millionaire Switch. After the course, I'm profitable on 72% of my trades. They're now giving me the largest account in the firm. Everyone keeps trying to ask me what my secret is, but I'm keeping this one between you and me. I'm keeping the secret to myself. Folks, these are real testimonials. These are just 3 out of hundreds of stories I've received from the Urgent Millionaire Switch's success. Their lives will never be the same. Give me 7 days, and I can do it for you. I can give you that new brain with all the power, creativity, and the drive that you had when you were a child, with all the opportunities of an adult. A brain that's smarter, faster, more confident, more savvy, a mind that thinks just like the rich. And you'll be able to do it just by playing these 5-minute little movie previews and going through the Urgent Millionaire Switch. I've taken all of the most powerful movie previews out of the hundreds we've tested. We pulled out all of the ones that have gotten people the most results in the shortest amount of time. Now it's as easy as pie. And it is by far the most advanced personal growth system yet, as I may have already mentioned. When I tied together my 7 movie previews, I had to call it the Urgent Millionaire Switch. With the Urgent Millionaire Switch, you don't need to do any research. We've already tested it through and through. All you're going to do is press the play button on these 5-minute movie previews and use the Urgent Millionaire Switch. Follow our simple routine that fits right into your normal day, and your brain will start to change. Connections will start to be made. You'll notice it because your feelings will start to change. Your moods, you'll notice new perceptibility, new curiosity. You'll be able to plan your financial future with crystal clear clarity. You'll feel like an overwhelming desire to just get up and go after these goals, like you got on a jetpack. Just by watching these short videos and using the product, you can delete the failures of the past so that there are no limits on your future. Suddenly you see absolutely everything you need to do to create the financial future you've always dreamt of. Doors will start opening to you. It's genuinely a full-scale reboot on your entire life. Imagine, no matter how old you think you are, bring back that spring in your step to have a better sense of humor, more likability, more intuition. Imagine you could just eliminate procrastination from your life, eliminate brain fog from your life. Imagine you had remarkable goal-setting capabilities and executive function. Imagine being calm under pressure, always on. The ability to focus 6 hours straight without taking a break. But it gets better, because I'm also giving you a super valuable product I cannot offer for long: the Millionaire Mindset. If you have the right thoughts on top of the right brain, it can multiply your results 5 times over. That's a fact. From the few people who have combined the Millionaire Mindset with the Urgent Millionaire Switch, the results are just going crazy. Up as high as 70% over those who just use the Urgent Millionaire Switch alone. That's a dramatic increase, and the speed of getting results goes up about 45% on average. But I also want you to know, when you're using the Urgent Millionaire Switch, you're guaranteed to succeed, because I'm going to be in there making sure you do. I'm going to be there for you every step of the way, along with my team, holding your hand, all the way to the finish line, where you've reached your financial goals. We're doing this together. I know you're thinking about the price of the Urgent Millionaire Switch, and we'll get to it. But first, let me ask you, honestly, is there anything you wouldn't pay? What about potentially saving your financial life? What would you pay if you knew someone could do that for you? It's hard to say. It's hard to put a price on being able to likely live the life of a millionaire. But we had to start somewhere. So we thought about the fact that rehab centers license our program for their addiction patients for about $5,000. We understand you're in a tight spot, so we're not going to charge you $5,000 for it. My first thought was $1,000 because my colleagues took one look at the program and said, if you don't charge at least $1,000, I'm going to pound you. Well, I appreciate that advice and their offer of a good old-fashioned pounding, but I'd rather worry less about them and more about you, which is why I slashed that price from $1,000 down to $500. Some people have told me that they still can't afford the $500, so I considered $250. I even considered $150. If I can get this program into your hands today, I'll have a lot of rich friends. And I like having rich friends, so I'm basically going to give you all the profits I would have made and just ensure that we're covering our costs. I realize this is very inexpensive and that I'm practically giving it away, and you're probably wondering, if you're doing so well in this, why would you give it away for next to nothing? So there has to be a catch. And I know there are some websites out there that offer you a great deal on something, but then they stick you in some program that charges your card every month. This isn't one of them. There's no hidden continuity program you have to try or anything even remotely like that. I'm literally giving you this entire program for less than half a Benjamin as a means of putting my best foot forward, demonstrating real value. My hope is that you'll love it and that this will be the start of a good business relationship for years to come. But with all that said, there is one thing to keep in mind. This won't last long. In most cases, I take a loss when selling the movie previews at this price. It cost me just over $21 in marketing expenses to sell one copy. So why would I do that? Pretty simple, actually. I'm making this offer with the idea that you'll be very impressed with what I'm giving you today, and you'll want to do more business with me in the future. It's pretty straightforward. Anyway, with all that said, this is a limited offer. Oh, and in case you're wondering, yes, of course, there's a money-back guarantee. In fact, I think it's the best money-back guarantee in the world. Here's the world's best guarantee. I know that before I get into anything, I'd like to know what I'm buying and that it's backed by a solid money-back guarantee. And I want you to be comfortable with this purchase. And even though it's only less than half a Benjamin, you worked hard for that money, and it counts. Like my grandpa used to say, test drive the car before you drive it off the lot. So here's what I've arranged for you. Download the movie previews in the Urgent Millionaire Switch. And if you're not blown away by what happens, then just shoot me an email and request a refund within 365 days. We'll refund you what you paid and let you keep the entire program free of charge. Now, how's that for the world's best money-back guarantee? I'd say it's pretty good. And since you've made it this far, I'll assume that you're ready to order. So with that in mind, here's how to order. Click the button below and fill out the order form, and you'll be watching the movie previews. Until then, to your success. Becoming a millionaire is likely the best way to build a retirement nest egg. Something you can enjoy into your old age, and something your children can enjoy after you. So you can all live your dreams. Travel the world, stay at the best hotels, spoil your spouse. Lord knows they've worked hard enough to deserve it. What could be more exciting than that? Let's hit that button right now, and let's potentially get your new life started. Hit the button now and get started while it's on your mind. Hit the button now and let's get your retirement rocking. If you're still here, it could potentially be for a few different reasons. Maybe now doesn't seem like the right time for this. Is there ever even really such a thing as a right time? Is there ever a right time to have kids? I mean, there never is. And yet, having kids is often the greatest joy a couple could ever experience. If our parents waited for the right time to have kids, it's likely that almost none of us would even be here to have this conversation. Great things in life often don't just show up on your doorstep with a ribbon and a bow. You have to dig a little to get to the gold sometimes. Success requires a little courage to do something even if it doesn't quite feel perfectly comfortable. Don't strain yourself, but do potentially stretch yourself. It's that little bit of courage that's likely going to make your success that much more meaningful. Remember, it's likely that nothing in this world is 100%. The rich likely don't operate in 100% terms. The rich make intelligent decisions that have a high probability of success. And your odds of success here are excellent, because I can guarantee you that if you just watch the movie previews for a few days, you will permanently change your attitude. You will likely become wiser and therefore a more powerful person, even if you did literally nothing else with it. Your risk of loss here basically doesn't exist, because we're offering you a 100% money-back guarantee for any reason. You risk nothing. So hit that button immediately, because soon you won't be able to. When the upside is this high and the downside is this low, you really have to ask yourself, if not now, then when? If this is not your chance to potentially bump up your income and avoid the potential crash that's coming, when will be your chance? I'll save you the mental exercise. It'll likely never get easier than this anytime soon. And it'll never be more exciting than this anytime soon. Go for it. The order button is literally right there, right below. We're waiting to help you get started on the other side of this page. We can't wait to meet you. Maybe you're thinking, I don't have half a Benjamin right now. Try this. Take out a piece of paper, draw a sun with rays coming off of it. In the middle of the sun, write $50. And for each ray, write down the different ways that you could get the money, even if it's not in your bank account right now. So one ray could be, ask grandma. I have a beloved student who didn't have the money when she came here, but she really wanted to try the Urgent Millionaire Switch. So she nervously went up to her grandmother and said, I have this great opportunity to learn. Can you please help me? And of course, she was so surprised when her grandma said, of course, honey, I can't take it with me. Her grandma was actually likely excited to give her the money. And now the student's potentially putting her 3 kids through college on the income she's making with the Urgent Millionaire Switch. Another ray could be put it on a credit card and likely pay it back with your earnings with Urgent Millionaire Switch, or get a refund. Another ray could be get a bank loan. Another could be sell something on eBay. Another ray could be do a job on Upwork. Another ray could be get a home equity line of credit. I don't know. Most people don't realize they can potentially get tens of thousands of dollars this way. There are many possibilities that you can think of in your situation that I could never even come up with. The point is, there's always a way. If you believe in yourself, you will find a way, and you'll likely be successful. And if you don't believe in yourself, borrow some of my faith, because I believe in you more than you know. Nothing can stop a man or woman who will never give up. Sometimes you need to ask God or the universe for a sign, whatever your belief may be. I have a beloved student who wasn't sure what to do, and he just went to Google News and read the first article that came up. It was about thoughts affecting reality, and he knew immediately it was a sign from above. Maybe you need to look for a sign also. Maybe the first article on Google News is about something positive about the economy. That could potentially be a sign. Maybe a fancy car just went by. That could potentially be a sign. Maybe the clock on the bottom right of your screen is showing your favorite number right now. That could potentially be a sign. Ask for help, and life will likely guide you in ways you've never dreamt of. And when you're ready, hit the order button below. That's the best you can do, and that's all that's asked of you. If you just keep moving forward and follow your gut, you'll get there. You'll make your vision real. You'll likely make your dreams come true. The Urgent Millionaire Switch is that possible vehicle that makes all of the pieces of the puzzle fall into place. Just don't hesitate. Hesitation will likely kill your chances of being the best you. Hit the order button immediately. That's your key to a good life. I'm rolling out the red carpet for your arrival. Like I said, it's all guaranteed. So you either make the money or you cancel. So give the Urgent Millionaire Switch a shot. We are honestly the only game in town when it comes to energetic transformation and attraction. Free advice is worth what you pay for it. We strive for your investment into the Urgent Millionaire Switch to be the best investment you ever make. We attempt to get you to the next level in your financial life with the Urgent Millionaire Switch, to give you the opportunity to achieve wealth that you'll never ever see in your lifetime. But we don't have that much time to act. Noah built his ark for 120 years because he knew the flood was coming. Everyone probably thought he was nuts. They even threatened to kill him when he tried to go in. As it turns out, his family was likely the only one to survive. If he had stayed on the sidelines, none of us would be here today. Even just one more day on the sidelines can mean the difference between retiring and retiring filthy rich. So what are you going to do? You take action now. You fill out the form, and we will take care of the rest. Your journey will be more exciting than anything you've ever done. I promise. The first question you probably have is, can I really do this? Probably, yeah. Can you barely use a computer? Probably not a problem. My 7-year-old niece basically does this. Surely you can too. All you need is the computer. I know it seems confusing and complicated, but I promise you it isn't. Just imagine you're in Super Mario Bros. And you just defeated all of the Koopas and you almost died more than once, but now you're about to enter into the chamber with the princess. You get up to the door, and even though it's completely unblocked, you decide to turn around and go home. That'd be pretty silly, and you would likely regret that for the rest of your life. Let me tell you something. If you walk away from this, it will be a lot worse. Honestly, I have never even seen an opportunity to create potential wealth like this, ever. I honestly believe we're likely on the cusp of a revolution, a new golden age. People are waking up for the first time and realizing there's likely a better way. But you can't enter this banquet without a key. And your key is the Urgent Millionaire Switch, where 10x growth isn't a dream, but a likely reality. So are you in? Because once you're in, I don't hold anything back. We demand our students succeed, and we sacrifice everything to make sure it happens. Because that's how our long list of success stories continues to grow. And with success stories, we get even more students. It's a wonderful cycle of life and money. And why am I even doing this when I've already made so much money? Because once you've got all the money you want, all the sex you want, and all the drugs you want, you start to look for something deeper. It's called meaning. It's basically having a reason to live bigger than yourself. And seeing the success stories of my students gives me a reason to live. I took a look at the coaching industry and I was horrified at what I saw. Fake gurus, worthless newsletters, influencer wannabes. Nobody was providing the public with any good information about how to become a millionaire. I can potentially summarize what the Urgent Millionaire Switch is in 3 words. We got you. You're literally in our arms. You're our responsibility. We have the best customer support, and the learning curve practically doesn't even exist. You don't have to change anything about yourself you don't want to. We bring success to you at your level, whatever it may be right now. Yes, we'll likely push you towards growth in your skills, but you don't have to do any of that. No prior skills are required. Our motto is no member left behind. We believe everyone deserves to have success. Especially in crazy times like these, no one slips through the cracks. You cannot get rich by just sitting in your chair. You cannot get rich by just sitting on the sidelines. It won't just drop from the sky. You can only get rich if you invest in yourself. A lot of people like to impress their audience with their huge collection of training videos. I do the opposite. I keep the movie previews short. My intent is for you to learn the least, risk the least, invest the least, change the least, and still become a millionaire. I swear, even if you half-ass this thing, even if you do 10% of what I tell you to do, you will likely make 5 times whatever you paid for admission to the Urgent Millionaire Switch. That's how I play the game. We child-proofed this thing. I do all the work. You just pick and choose what you want your success to look like. And I know it hurts to part with your money. I get it. Times are tough. But is it better to spend whatever money you have on fantasy football and Starbucks, a vacation you'll forget about probably 2 days later? Or is it better to invest that money into proven financial toll that will make you money for the rest of your life? I know you're smart enough to answer that question. If you answered it, now's likely the time to use the order button below. Click the button and your potential money-making journey begins. The most exciting journey of your life. Remember, you have to plant before you can reap, and that means letting go of your seeds and burying them in the ground. Then, all you need is patience. If you understood the importance of this moment, you would already be all over that button. There's something I haven't explained, so let's take care of that now. People ask about my success stories. Who are these people, really? I'll tell you. My success stories are a unique group. They're likely optimists by nature. If you don't believe in yourself and you don't believe you can do anything you put your mind to, you won't be able to. Whether you think you can do this or think you can't do this, you're right. And if you think you can't do this, you'll potentially be broke for the rest of your life. But if you do believe in yourself, if you know this is for you and that you will make it work come hell or high water, there's potentially no limit to how much money you can make. So hit that button now. Frequently asked question number 1. How do I know this isn't a scam? Scams are easy to spot. If you see someone selling something that doesn't require you to learn anything new, if they'll say they'll do it for you, if they tell you you'll make money tomorrow, if they don't talk about retirement and long-term safe investing, those are all likely signs that their offer might be a scam. If they want you to sign a contract and they only give you a few minutes to look it over, that's a big red flag. Any kind of pressure tactics or bullying is another indication someone is trying to sell you something that's a win-lose deal. Don't expect much for the inheritance the Nigerian prince is trying to unload 1 billion either. That's why we do none of those things. Our reputation matters, and in the age of social media, you can't get away with scamming people for very long. Those scammers go out of business and into hiding so fast it's kind of scary, because the truth will always be exposed. We are a legitimate company that helps real people make real money in the personal development space. Frequently asked question number 2. How come I've never heard of your offer before? We likely reach millions of people with our content and teachings between YouTube and Facebook, but not everyone sees it at the same time. If you were in our first student group, you'd have seen this offer last year. Now that we're looking for a few more students, I'm putting this offer out again. Even though I help people out on social media all the time, I only give the option to work together with me when we want to enroll a new group of students. If you follow our directions and take action, there's no reason you can't potentially replace your current income in under a year. In a few rare cases, some students have done that in the first 2 months, but don't expect results that fast. If that happens to you, consider it a lucky bonus. Some people take the bull by the horns and they go for the moon. They get pretty wealthy, and they potentially will become millionaires. Anything's possible with the right motivation, knowledge, connections, and a little bit of luck. The reality is, the type of results you can expect really depends on you. Nothing works if you don't work it. The good news is, it should be easy. You just have to listen to our guidance and play the movie previews. Frequently asked question number 3. What if I don't have a lot of time? I am betting you don't have a lot of time. I don't either. In fact, I can't think of anyone who's a lot of time on their hands, except for maybe a few of those cat ladies who watch Dr. Phil all day. But the truth is, trading is one of the only ways to make money that doesn't take a lot of time. Think about it. Working a part-time job, that's probably 20 hours a week. No good. Starting your own business. We all know that's likely way more than full-time hours, especially at the beginning. Investing in real estate takes a ton of time and money to invest. But this? You can potentially do it from your phone, your computer, 15 minutes a month. Time's gonna pass anyway. 10 years from now will arrive. The question is, will you arrive rich or poor? The decisions we make today will determine what we end up with tomorrow. Frequently asked question number 4. What if I'm too old for this? You're never too old to become wealthy. I love when people share this fear with me because it's my favorite question. Even though I understand and I appreciate why you may feel that, the truth is it's easy to figure out with our help, and you are not too old. We make this process simple. In no time, you'll catch on and be a pro. They say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but we both know that's a bunch of BS. We're always learning, always changing. Life experience is a huge advantage in trading because when you have seen so much of the world and you grew up watching how the world works, it gives you an advantage. The technical part of all of this is a short learning curve. It's easier than putting together an IKEA desk. You'll cuss less while learning this, and instead of ending up with a cheap wooden shelf, you're rewarded with profits and a secure future, even maybe a retirement. The only question you should ask yourself is, what if this is real? What if the financial security you're looking for is right here, under your nose? Wouldn't it be worth a few minutes of your time to see if it's true? There's likely no sacrifice on your part. It's all 100% guaranteed. We're taking all the risk. There's really not any more excuses. This is quite possibly your one chance to become financially free, and I know you don't want to miss that. Remember, Dreams without goals, dreams without action are just dreams. They're nothing. And they will likely never be more than that. You want this decision to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. I've never met anyone who became incredibly successful in any area of life unless they suffered, sweat, and sacrificed, and kept their focus, fought through tears, trials, tests. That's how winning is done. It's not meant to be easy. But if you have a dream and you commit to it, it'll come to pass. So hit that button and let's attempt to make some money together. Let's get started. It's amazing that when there's a new iPhone, suddenly everyone finds the money to get it, right? But when it comes to investing in yourself, there's often nothing but excuses and dead air. Don't let that be you. Just tune out all of this noise that you'd hear in your head because your goals are so close right now that you can taste it. I jump in a completely cold shower first thing in the morning, and I admit I'm scared to go in. But I know that if I'm too scared to do this, what else will I be too scared to do today? So if you let fear and doubt run your life, you simply cannot have a good life. The good life comes from stepping out of your comfort zone and doing something that makes you more powerful and uncomfortable. Those two things go together. And there's potentially nothing more powerful than having all the money you want or need. Want the latest rolls? You could get it. Want a vacation house by the beach? You could have it. Want the highest end Rolex on the market? You got it. So hit that button now. It will be the smartest move that you've ever made. You just have to take action. Nothing will ever happen for you if you don't take action. This is your virgin investment. And with our guarantee, it's almost a surefire win. And it's nice to start off your investment career with a win. So hit that button right now, and you will feel so good when you do. Fear is temporary, but regret lasts forever. Hit that button below. Let's get the better part of your life started. God bless.